If you are collecting Social Security right now, I need you to put down whatever else you are doing and stay with me for the next few minutes, because 3 separate money changes are landing on seniors this July, and every one of them touches money that is already yours. One of them can stop your monthly payment from arriving at all if you do nothing. One of them can hand you back $6,000 at tax time that most people will never claim because they have never heard of it. And one of them puts a hard ceiling on what you will ever pay for your prescriptions again, but only if you know the program that unlocks it. These are not things that might help you someday. These are real dollars with real deadlines attached to your check, your refund, and your medicine right now in 2026. And here is the part that worries me as an attorney. Most of the seniors I talk to have either heard nothing about these 3, or they have heard a headline without ever learning the one specific move that actually captures the benefit. A headline does not put money in your account. The form does. The phone call does. The program does. So that is exactly what I am going to give you today. All 3 changes in plain English with the precise action for each one. I'm Walter Varon. I'm a state bar licensed to state attorney, and for more than 15 years, I have sat across the table from families helping them protect their homes, their savings, and the money the government already owes them. I read the fine print on these rules so you do not have to, and I'm going to walk you through all 3 of these the way I would walk my own parents through them. And before you decide any of this is not for you, stay with me whether you are 62 or 82, whether you are still working part-time or fully retired, because at least one of these 3 is going to apply to you or to someone you love. And the one you assume does not matter is very often the one that matters most. Do me one quick favor before we start, because it genuinely helps this information reach more seniors who need it. Hit that like button, and if you want the rest of these breakdowns, subscribe. It costs you nothing, and it is the only way the people who need this ever see it. So let me lay the 3 out for you up front, so you know exactly where we are going. And then we are going to take them one at a time and go deep. The first change is happening to the payment itself, the way your Social Security actually reaches you. And if you are one of the people this affects and you ignore it, your check can simply stop. The second change is a brand new deduction written into federal tax law that can shield thousands of dollars of your income from the IRS, money that comes straight back to you. And there is a strict cutoff on who gets the full amount. The third change is a new cap on what you pay out of pocket for prescription drugs, a number that once you hit it means you pay nothing more for your covered medicine for the rest of the year. 3 changes: your deposit, your refund, your prescriptions. Now, before we dive in, let me answer the question you might already be asking, which is, Walter, if these are so important, why have I not heard about any of them? And the honest answer is, the whole reason I make these videos. These changes do not arrive with a phone call to your house. They show up as a single line buried in a 1,000-page bill, or a notice posted on a government website written in language nobody reads, or a rule that takes effect quietly while the news is busy with everything else. Nobody is knocking on your door to make sure you claimed your $6,000 or switched your payment in time. The system simply assumes you will figure it out on your own, and when you do not, it keeps the money, or it lets the deadline slide right past you. That is not an accident. That is just how it works, and the only defense any of us has is knowing. So let us make sure you know. Let us start with the one that is the most urgent, because this one has a clock on it. The first change is this. The federal government is ending paper checks for Social Security and moving every single beneficiary to electronic payments. If you are someone who still gets a paper Social Security check in the mail, this is the most important thing you will hear today, because the window to act is closing, and if you do nothing, you are looking at a real risk that your payment does not show up. Let me explain exactly what happened, because this is not a rumor, and it is not a maybe. There is an Executive Order 14,247, signed in March of 2025, and it directs the federal government to modernize the way it pays people and to phase out paper checks for federal benefits. The Social Security Administration began that transition, and the date they pointed to was September 30th of 2025, with the goal of completing the move away from paper entirely by the end of 2026. In plain terms, the paper check is going away, and they are not asking. They are transitioning everyone to electronic payment. Now, who does this actually touch? If your Social Security already comes by direct deposit into your bank account, you can take a breath because you are already done. Nothing changes for you. The money lands the same way it always has. But if you are still receiving a paper check or you know someone who is, this is the moment to act, because once the paper check stops, a payment that has nowhere electronic to go is a payment that does not reach you. And I want you to think about who is most likely to still be on paper checks. It is very often the oldest seniors, the ones who have done it the same way for 40 years, the ones who do not bank online, the exact people who can least afford a missed payment. That is who this rule can hurt if they do not hear about it, and that is why I need you to share this one. So, here is your action, and it is simple. You have 2 clean ways to receive your money electronically. The first is standard direct deposit, straight into your checking or savings account, which you can set up through your bank or through your My Social Security account online. The second, and this is the one a lot of people do not know about, is something called the Direct Express card. The Direct Express card is a prepaid debit card the government loads your benefit onto every month, and it exists specifically for people who do not have a traditional bank account. So even if you have never had a bank account in your life, you are not stuck. There is a path for you, and your benefit can ride on that card. Let me walk you through the actual steps so this is not vague. If you want standard direct deposit, you need 3 things in front of you: your bank account number, your bank's routing number, both of which are printed at the bottom of any check or available from your bank, and your own Social Security information. You can set it up the easy way by creating a free My Social Security account on the Social Security website and entering your bank details there. Or you can simply call Social Security or walk into your local bank and ask them to help you set up direct deposit of your benefit, and they do this every day. If instead you want the Direct Express card because you do not have a bank account, you can request that card through the Direct Express program. And once you have it, your payment loads onto it automatically each month, and you use it like any other debit card at the store, at the ATM, anywhere. The point is, there is a path for every single person watching, and none of it is complicated. The only wrong move here is to do nothing and hope the paper check keeps coming, because that is the one thing that is not going to happen. And let me get ahead of the one objection I always hear, which is, "Walter, I do not trust direct deposit. I like my paper check. I can hold it in my hand." I understand that feeling completely, but here are the cold facts. A paper check is roughly 16 times more likely to be lost, stolen, altered, or returned than an electronic payment. Mail theft of benefit checks is a real and growing crime against seniors. Electronic payment is not the risky option here. The paper check is the risky option. And the government is closing that door precisely because of how often those checks get stolen out of mailboxes. Let me make that real for you because I have seen it happen to families I have worked with. A check goes into a mailbox in a quiet neighborhood. Someone fishes it out, washes off the ink, and cashes it. And now an 80-year-old widow is on the phone with the government trying to prove that she never received her own money, waiting weeks for a replacement while the rent is due and the pantry is getting thin. That is the exact nightmare this change is built to end. When your money lands electronically, there is no piece of paper sitting in a metal box on the street for anyone to grab. It is simply there, in your account, on the same morning every single month, like clockwork, and nobody can intercept it on the way. There is also a plain cost reason the government is doing this. A paper check costs them several dollars to print and mail, many times what an electronic payment costs. And with millions of payments a year, they are done eating that expense. Whether you love the change or not, it is coming. And the smart move is to be ahead of it instead of behind it. Now, there is one more thing I have to tell you because I never want to oversell a rule. There is a narrow waiver. If your situation is genuinely extreme, for example, you live somewhere with no banking access at all, the U.S. Treasury does allow you to request an exception from the electronic requirement. And the number to call to ask about that waiver is 1-877-874-6347. But I want to be honest with you. That waiver is meant for rare hardship cases. It is not a way to keep your paper check because you prefer it. For almost everyone watching, the right and safe move is to get yourself onto direct deposit or the Direct Express card before that paper check stops coming.